Hello everyone, welcome to AWS and Devops. Today we will be learning protocols. Let's understand some basic protocols. The first protocol is HTTP, which means hypertext transfer protocol. The first protocol is HTTP, hypertext transfer protocol. It means it is not secure connection to the application. Not secure connection to the application, for which port number is 80, for which always port number is 80. The first protocol is HTTP, hypertext transfer protocol, not secure connection to the application, for which port number is 80. The next protocol is HTTPS, which means hypertext transfer protocol secure. It means it is a secure connection to the application. For which port number is 443. Always remember, for HTTP port number is 80, for HTTPS port number is 443. Those are the default port number for HTTP and HTTPS. Next protocol is SSH, which means it connects to the Linux machine, and for which port number is 22. The next protocol is RDP. It is used for connect to the Windows machine. Connect to the Windows machine, and for which port number is 3389. Okay, we are just understanding some basic protocols which are really important as a cloud engineer. The first protocol is HTTP, hypertext transfer protocol. It is not secure connection to the application, and for which default port number is 80. The next protocol is HTTPS, hypertext transfer protocol secure. It is a secure connection to the application, and for which default port number is 443. The next protocol is SSH. It is used to connect to the Linux machine, and for which port number is 22. The next protocol is RDP, connect to the Windows machine, and for which default port number is 3389. Now let's understand how this works. Now for example, whenever we type any website in the internet, how we type it? https://google.com. But how we write it? http://google.com. In general, how we write this website? http://google.com. Technically, how we can define this website? HTTP is our protocol. Okay, it means protocol : google.com is our domain name colon, and for HTTP, what is the port number that we will write at the end of the website? For HTTP, port number is 80. Now for HTTPS, how we will write this website? Protocol : google.com is our domain name colon, and for HTTPS, what is our port number? 443. Okay, in general, how we write this website? HTTP means our protocol : google.com is our domain name colon, and at the end we write port number. But whenever we type this website in the internet, do we write anytime this port number? The answer is no. We usually type google.com. We usually type our domain name only. But how the website without typing port number gets reflected in the internet, that we will understand. For example, whenever we write any website in the internet, we no need to write port number, because for example, I have created any website for my business purpose, and for example, the developer have assigned me a website giving port number at the end. So will I be interested to write port number or to remember port number? It will be the nasty website. So I need website in the form of domain name only. So how this website works without typing domain names? Now tell me, for example, I have written website as http colon double slash google.com colon, and for http default port number is 80, but if I write port number here 134, will this work in the internet? The answer is no, because for http default port number is 134. So I need to write 80 port number for http only. 134 will not work, because for http port number is 80 only. So now let's take one real time example, and let's understand how this website works. Now let's take one real time example, and we will try to understand how this website works. For example, I have created one server. Let's assume this is one server, and for this server I have assigned one IP address. This is my server, and for this server I have assigned one IP address. Let's assume 192.162.10.20. okay, I have created one server. For this server I have assigned one IP address 192.162.10.20. okay, now in this server I have deployed one application. In this server I have deployed one application, and application name is Tomcat. And for Tomcat, always port number will be 8080. okay, I have created one server. In that server I have deployed one application. That application name is Tomcat, for which default port number is 8080. Now tell me, which website will work for this application? For example, I have created one http colon double slash 192.162.10.20. this is one scenario. Then another scenario is http colon double slash 192.162.10.20. this is another scenario where I can create website. Sorry, here colon, for http default port number is 80, so I am entering here default port number 80. And another scenario is http colon double slash 192.162.10.20 colon 8080. Now tell me, among these three websites, which one will work for my this application? The answer will be last website, http colon double slash 192.162.10.20 colon 8080. Why third one will only work for my this application? Because for my application the default port number is 8080, but as I said that for http default port number is 80 also. So this is also correct website, but my application using port number 8080. So will he accept this port number 80? The answer is no. Then how the default port number will work for this my particular website? That we will see. Now for example, whenever I type http, for example I type http colon double slash google.com. this is not secure connection to the application. http is not secure connection to the application, since this website works in the works as a google.com. and another is https colon double slash google.com. this also works as a google.com in the website. Why this difference is there? Because for example, when I type http google.com, this website will work, since it is a not secure connection to the application, because Google has some configurations in the background that whenever I type HTTP in the website, that Google will convert HTTP to HTTPS. And how this converts, here also similar scenario, when my application is having port number 8080, even if HTTP has default port number 80, how this works, we will understand this. Now we will be using here load balancer. I am using here load balancer. Okay, this is my load balancer. Now and I am typing one website here, http colon double slash google.com colon 8080. Now let's take port number 80 only here. Okay, now I am typing one website, http colon google.com colon 80. For HTTP my default port number is 80. Whether I type port number at the end or whether I do not type, my website will work, because in the background there are some configuration that a load balancer will provide this port number to the website. Whenever I type, for example in Google I am typing HTTP, okay, load balancer will have configuration that it will convert HTTP not secure connection to the HTTPS secure connection to the application. So both the website HTTP and HTTPS will work whenever I type in the internet. Now my application is having port number 8080, and I am typing just website google.com colon 80. So what load balancer will do, load balancer, when I try to configure this application Tomcat, for which port number is 8080. Now when I send my request google.com, it will go to the load balancer, and load balancer will convert this port number to 8080. Means when load balancer will send this request to the application, before sending request to the application, it will convert my website as https colon double slash google.com and colon 8080. And that's why my application will respond to this load balancer, because I send request as google.com, whether I put port number or whether I do not put, there is no matter, my website will work. When it will go to the load balancer will convert my port number which was assigned to the application, which is 8080, and that's why application will redirect to the load balancer and application will respond to this load balancer. This is the major difference, whether for example every website requires port number and every website may have different port numbers. So but when customer want to access any website, he will not be interested to put some nasty port numbers. So I will provide to the client simple website in the form of domain name google.com, amazon.com, facebook.com. So for example, when I put facebook.com on the internet, http colon double slash facebook.com, for http default port number is 80. So this will go to the load balancer, and for example my application using port number 8080 or 9000. So load balancer will catch this port number, and the load balancer will convert this port number as 9000. So and that's why application will redirect and application will respond to the load balancer. It means whenever we create any website for customers, there should be, for customer there should be default port number. What are those default port number? It can be 80 for HTTP and or it can be 443 for HTTPS. It means whenever any customer requires any website, for them the default port number should be 80 or 443. But for my application, for my application there will be port number which is assigned to them. My application can have port number 880 or 9000 or anything else, but this whenever I put any website to the internet, load balancer will convert my default port number to the whatever the port number is assigned to the application, and that's why application will response to the my website. Okay, now whenever I put google.com, I am trying to put http as a protocol, http://google.com. okay, first thing is google will have configurations in the background that it will convert http to the https, because https is secure connection to the application and http is not secure connection to the application. Since I am using http, it will work because google have some configurations in the background that it will convert http to https. Now for example, uh, google.com have some another port number at the backend. It can have 8080 or 9000. So here load balancer will convert my port number, default port number, to the port number which was assigned to the application 8080, and that's why application will redirect to the my website. So what are those basic protocols? First one is http, hypertext transfer protocol. It is not secure connection to the application, for which default port number is 80. Then next is https, hypertext transfer protocol secure. It is a secure connection to the application for which port number is 443, which is default port number. The next is ssh. It is used to connect to the linux machine, for which port number is 22. The next protocol is rdp. It is used to connect to the windows machine, for which default port number is 3389. okay, whether I put https or http or not put, then also my website will work, because my domain name will have assigned port numbers at the end, and google will configure this port number in the background. okay, now whether I put http or https, my website will work, and because load balancer will convert my port number to the port number which are assigned to the application. And this is how protocol works. This is the basic concepts of protocols, and we will understand these protocols in details in coming next videos.